leadoff again with Corey Seager in the 2 spot and back at shortstop. Justin Turner hits third and plays third. A.J. Pollock is the cleanup man tonight in left. Cody Bellinger slides down to 5th and plays center. Keeping Chris Taylor's bat in the lineup. He's the DH. Kike Hernandez at second. Edwin Rios gets the start at first with Max Muncy getting a day off. And Austin Barnes, who's really swung it well lately, does the catching. Against the 23-year-old from Mission Viejo, who grew up a Dodger fan, emulating Clayton Kershaw. Tonight he gets a chance to face him after debuting last season. Makes his 3rd start of the year tonight.
Tonight, Clayton Kershaw is going to try and find his slider. Well, Patrick Sandoval, that is one of his best pitches, especially against left-handed hitters. He's only going to get to face 3 in the Dodger lineup today with Seager, Bellinger, and Rios. And when he faces the righties that have been super hot on this team, he'll probably use more of a changeup as his off-speed pitch.
Surprisingly, the Angels off to a rough start. There was a lot of excitement around them coming into the season, but they are 7-12. That's the 3rd worst record in the American League. They try to build off of the momentum of taking 2 of 3 from Oakland this week. Well, the Dodgers come in tied for 1st in the National League West. 7-2 on the road. 2nd road trip of the season coming here.
Can we really consider it a road trip when they're all going to sleep in their own beds? They didn't even do the hotel.
Yeah, only on paper, I guess. Is it a road trip? Betts climbs in and off we go with a strike from Sandoval. Well, it took Johnny Mize 1,884 games to get his 6 3-home run games. Took Sammy Sosa more than 2,300. Mookie's done it in about 800 games. Wasn't the only guy last night. 6 home runs for the Dodgers. They matched a season high with 11 runs scored and were able to come away with a very important split against a team in San Diego that is really brimming with confidence. On a 2-1 pitch, Betts tries to lay off and does. Ball 3.
If the Dodger offense would have woke up a little sooner against those Padres, maybe they wouldn't be as confident. Losing game 1 2-1, the second game 6-2. Well, once the bats woke up, a 6-0 and 11-2 victories.
It's a leadoff walk for Betts.
It's next level for a professional hitter when you're as hot as Mookie Betts is, but you'll still take your walk.
Corey Seager hitting second again, Oral, and Dave Roberts talked to us about this today, that he kind of sees this as the lineup moving forward with Mookie Betts, regardless of handedness of the pitcher, hitting leadoff, and Corey Seager hitting second, which is where he was yesterday in his first game back from the back injury. And simply put, he says you want your best guys getting the most at bats, and right now those are the 2 best.
And you can do this with those 2 guys because they both hit whatever pitcher you put on the mound well. And especially you think about that more with Corey Seager being a left-handed hitter, not seeing as many left-handed starters.
0-2. This is the first left-handed starter they've seen since the end of July when they faced Robbie Ray. 13 consecutive right-handed pitchers. Nice play by JT. Tell you what, his defense has been better this year, hasn't it?
No matter where you put him.
Right. Shift him into right, shift him into the on-deck circle. Long pause in an 0-2. Seager strikes out swinging, and that is the slider that Patrick Sandoval has ridden through his first 2 starts. Opponents now 1 of 11 against him.
For him to have success tonight, he's going to have to dominate the left-handed hitters to break up some of the success the righties will probably have off of him. That's the importance of the Dodger lineup hitting as a lineup, not just individuals, because you're going to have to put that wave of hitters against pitchers that are really looking to get hot. Sandoval had a nice outing his last outing.
That was against Texas on Saturday. Just 2 runs over 6 innings. for the first-year manager Joe Madden. Bets at first as Turner grounds one up the middle. Diving stop by Fletcher. The throw to second is not in time. Everybody's safe, but what a fun-looking baseball play from a fun baseball player in David Fletcher, keeping that ball in the infield.
Tatis Jr. made a play like this last night. Wasn't able to record an out, but they are fun to see. The first half of it, it's the second half of it that gets Justin Turner a hit. It would have been safe even with an accurate throw. Mookie Betts, one of the best base runners in baseball, I'm sure got a good jump on that, and then with his wheels he was going to make it to second.
Boy, he was ready to pounce if that ball got away, wasn't he? Popped up on that slide and on his toes again. Turner, by the way, extends his hitting streak to 9 games with that and brings up A.J. Pollock. Who we jokingly dubbed one of the footnotes last night to Mookie's 3-home-run performance. If Mookie hadn't done that, A.J. would have been one of the headliners. He had a home run and a double and still finds himself in the top 10 in the National League in slugging.
Betts, Seager, and Pollock really up there.
On an 0-1 from Sandoval, Pollock takes high and in. 1 ball, 1 strike. Thank you, Internet. Thank you, Danny at GATO the Jazz. Mookie footnotes is so good, and the pictures that he found for all of them are perfect, as if they go with a a singing group like that on an album cover. Sandoval's 1-1, way outside ball 2.
Let's take a look at it again, because I'm sure everybody was laughing at first, picking up details. Yeah, even the haircuts are good. And Mookie very clean with the eye black.
Love it.
That's fantastic.
And we say it as lovingly as possible, the footnote part. I know that comes off a little bit demeaning, but it's all tongue-in-cheek. Footnotes because of the historic night Betts had, not because of anything they didn't do. It's a ground ball left side, right at the shortstop. Fletcher booted it at first. They get the out at second, but that's all.
Angels might take some time to check the contact at second base on this one. With the new Chase Utley rules that have been around for a few years now, they have no chance at a double play, but Albert looking down there like, what's going on? We see Fletcher make a great play, and then all of a sudden we get a bobble that would have been probably a double play, but not after the bobble.
So instead, first and third with 2 out for the Dodgers, and Cody Bellinger with an opportunity to put him on the board. Big swing at a breaking ball, and it's 0-1. So Bellinger slid down in the order for the first time, hitting 5th tonight. Dave Roberts saying just wanting to give him a little bit different look, pushing whatever button he can to try and get the reigning MVP going. Comes in with the 2nd lowest average and 2nd lowest OPS in the league.
Some pretty good at bats last night that he didn't get any results from.
Yeah, 2 of his hardest hit balls of the year. Here's a throw to second, and Pollock has stolen it.
Maybe last year you would think about walking Cody Bellinger here, even a left-on-left situation that he was outstanding in. Getting the runner started, maybe a first and third steal situation, but the Angels really didn't try and throw him out at second. They sent it down there, but not in time.
So Betts at third and Pollock at second. Ball and a strike on Bellinger. Sandoval comes home, and Bellinger takes a little bit outside. Ball 2. As nice as the home runs were last night and get the power going the last couple of days, it's been just as nice watching him hit with runners in scoring position. 7 for 12 the last 2 games. Sandoval home 2-1. Bellinger fouls it off 2-2.
Attacking Bellinger with a hot Chris Taylor on deck, a righty of course. So no pitching around. Last year's MVP right now, hitting 165.
Good chance for the Dodgers here in the first. On a 2-2 pitch. Bellinger swings and misses. Strike three. So they strand him in second and third, and Clayton Kershaw gets ready to go when you come back.
Number 22, Clayton Kershaw. That's a strikeout for my dad!
Callie and Charlie and Cooper getting ready to watch Daddy make start number 3 of the season. He was very good in his first start. 5 2/3 shutout innings against Arizona, but then against San Francisco Saturday gave up 4 runs, most concerningly with 3 home runs.
Yeah, the multiple home runs were an issue last year. He had back-to-back 3 home run games last year back in August. But Clayton is throwing the ball harder, and he's also hanging the slider a little bit too much. But these Angels don't hit breaking balls very well, so it'll be a good night to get the slider and the curveball going.
His first pitch to David Fletcher misses up and away, ball 1. The Angels scored 20 runs in the 3 games against Oakland. They hit 10 home runs in those 3 and lead the American League in that category. Quickly 2-0.
Velocity is really good, and we're just not used to Clayton throwing balls that are not even close to his target. But in Clayton, I trust. I'll tell you what, this guy will figure it out.
Misses with his first 3.
Which is really odd this year. He's at an 83% first pitch strike rate coming into this game.
Leads the majors. That one's in there, and it's 3-1.
I mean, he's always been good and always been the aggressive attacker as far as first pitch strikes, and the league has adjusted back to him and are usually swinging early in the count because of that, because they don't want to get to the slider or the curveball.
On a 3-1, Fletcher swings and misses, chasing the slider, and it's 3-2. David Fletcher comes in riding an American League best 12-game hitting streak, hitting .303 on the year. Leading things off against Clayton Kershaw. And bouncing one back to him up the middle. Hernandez gets there and throws him out.
It was a nice comeback by Clayton Kershaw, making some adjustments with both the fastball and the slider. Goes back-to-back slider, gets hit in his hip pocket. And Kike there to pick him up.
So 1-4-3 technically. A 1-4 at 6M3 technically. The M is for mustache.
Oh. I'm going to have to change my ledger.
Double M. Mustache in the middle. Here's Estella. Fouls off the first pitch. 93 from Kershaw, which we hadn't seen in a couple seasons, but we're seeing pretty routinely now.
It's a new toy, but you got to still pitch with it and don't become a thrower. And it is something that all pitchers, when they get an increase in velocity, they all fight that.
Weak roll to right side. Hernandez again. The 2 up, 2 down for Kershaw here in the first.
Ball hit to Clayton's left, and he was on skates there for a little bit, slipping off the mound. It's been a rough one so far to get these 2 outs. One off the hip pocket, and one you're slipping, trying to cover first.
And now you got to face Mike Trout, leading the American League in OPS. He's second in home runs. He's second in slugging. You talked about it off of the top. Got that dad strength now. He's at 7 home runs in 9 games since Beckham Aaron Trout was born on August 1st. He takes strike 1 from Kershaw. 93 arm side corner. A curve, top of the zone, strike 2. So he started 3-0. You then said, in Clayton I trust. He's thrown 7 out of 7 strikes since.
He's still not on the side of the plate he wants to. He's in the strike zone, but now he's going to be looking for command.
His 0-2.
Control is one thing, command is another, and you can see that even when he's getting these strikes, Austin Barnes is having to move the glove from one side of the plate to the other.
He was really good before the baby. Another level since. Lifts this ball to left center field, but no big deal for Pollock or Bellinger. Boy, I was thinking, man, are they even pumping crowd noise in? And then there, explosion. But a 1-2-3 first for Kershaw.
Dodger Stadium eats are now available at home, and delivery is free for this week. From Dodger dogs to garlic fries and nacho helmets, get a taste of the ballpark experience delivered on demand. Search for Dodgers home plates on Postmates and order your stadium favorites for tonight's game now.
6, 7, and 8 coming up for the Dodgers here in the second. Chris Taylor leads it off against Patrick Sandoval and takes ball 1. Dave Roberts said today Chris Taylor, he could make a case for his MVP of this team so far. Leading the team in on-base percentage, right at .400. And his versatility has been key. Chops his ball into left, base hit to open the second. Been on base now all 9 of his last 16 plate appearances.
Just seems like his bat is moving through the strike zone, and it's in there a long time.
Leadoff man on. Up comes Hernandez, and we check in with Alana.
Joe, that conversation that we were having with Dave Roberts earlier, you asked him about that, and he was basically saying that because of Chris Taylor's versatility and his ability to hit with what he's doing right now offensively, it really was the reason that Corey Seager didn't necessarily have to go on the IL or, you know, be rushed back sooner than necessary. Because Chris Taylor's swinging the bat so well and because he has such a good glove, they could let Corey rest, relax, rehab, and miss the 5 games that he needed. But it wasn't an IL situation because you can put Chris Taylor and this man, Kike Hernandez, all over the field.
Tonight, Hernandez is second. Playing time has been a little bit hard to come by for him lately just because they haven't faced much left-handed pitching. And that's where the majority of his time's coming right now. Big rip and a miss, 0-2.
The curveball is going to be the slowest pitch Sandoval throws. That changeup at 85 kind of tails away from the righties.
On an 0-2, that's up and away, ball 1. Sandoval, former Astros draft pick. We mentioned he's from Mission Viejo. He was traded to the Angels July of 2018 and said that he was shaking with excitement when he found out. And he grew up a Dodger fan, but he found out he was traded to a hometown team. Couldn't believe it. Ten games last year in the majors, had an ERA above 5, and went through a bout with COVID-19 this summer, and so was backed up coming into summer camp. He's only made two starts so far, and the number is good, but he's still looking for the first win, not just of this year, but of his young major league career. His 1-2 pitch. Hernandez pulls it to third. Rendon goes to second, 1, and Mostella turns it around the horn for a double play. And they pretend to throw the ball around.
Baseball's a beautiful game, and double plays are gorgeous. Not when they're against the Dodgers, of course, but there's been some sweet ones that we've seen this year so far from both defenses.
Yeah, beautiful and sweet. It is beautiful and sweet no matter who's doing it. Rios with the bases empty and 2 gone. Strike 1. Lefty start for Rios tonight as Dave Roberts gives Max Muncy just kind of a mental break. With Max 5 of his last 41. One and one on Rios.
The big guy with a beard, and it's So always got to remember that he is short on experience, but every time I see him, he starts and gets some at bats. I like him more and more in the box.
Just more and more of a sense that he looks like he belongs.
Yeah, and he's just starting to look more and more hitterish. He's on more pitches. The swings and misses, just like that last one, it wasn't by a lot. You know, he wasn't like completely fooled. He was on the pitch. He just missed it.
Chases here, and Sandoval faces the minimum in the second thanks to the double play ball.
Well, the pitch that made Clayton Kershaw was back in 2009 with the advent of the slider. The highlighted areas there in yellow are what's more, the curveball or the slider. Well, 11 is the first Cy Young, 14 is the MVP year, 17 is right before he gets a little bit injured, and 2020. In 16 is kind of when it broke from 50% breaking balls, 50% fastballs. Now he's a breaking ball pitcher, but that slider is really the pitch that made Clayton Kershaw.
Anthony Rendon taking strike one with a fastball. Middle third of the order, Rendon, Ohtani, and Pujols. And for Kershaw, well, the velocity on the fastball is up so far this season, and the slider was good in his first outing. Wasn't quite as sharp against San Francisco, and that showed up in what they did with it when it was in the strike zone, going 4 for 6.
It was up and it was flat. It didn't really have the bite, and it was more in the middle of the plate. And when you don't have the three components of the best pitch in your arsenal, it can be tough, and lineups catch up to you.
Throwing Rendon a couple curveballs. Took that one, and it's 1-2. The first-year Angel who signed the big contract this winter. 7 years, $245 million. Checks his swing, and it is 2-2. He missed the first 4 games with an oblique injury, and he's got a really weird stat line so far. Rendon's hitting 180, but he has the 7th highest on-base percentage in the American League. There has never been a qualifying player that has finished a season with an average below 200 and an on-base above 400 like Rendon has right now. You don't figure that he's going to finish with one, but just to give you some context for how to whack that line is. Leading off the second on a payoff pitch. Takes it low and has a leadoff walk. Now word from AT&T TV.
Watch the local sports you love on AT&T TV.
Well, there it is again. That walk shows up for Rendon. He's got more walks than games played. That's what keeps your on-base percentage up there.
Yeah. So the leadoff man on, and here's Shohei Ohtani, whose season has taken a turn for the worse since we saw him during the Freeway Series preseason. You know, they were so excited about him finally being able to be a reins-off two-way player. He was going to start every Sunday, DH several days, swings and misses strike one, but he suffered a small tear in his forearm related to his previous Tommy John surgery, and so they've shut him down from pitching for the rest of the season. And the hitting has not been great. He's hitting .212. A little bit of pop in there. One ball, one strike. 94.
94, and the slider, the first pitch was 90.
Froggy.
Exactly. I guess I was supposed to say ribbit.
There it is. See what he goes with on 1-1. A curveball. He's shown him all three. Does that mean we're going to get the changeup next?
I don't think so right now with the arm speed, but I wouldn't be surprised if we get a slider. I would think slider or fastball in. And since fastball in would be arm side, I'm going slider.
He's been toying with that changeup a little bit through the years, but has never felt desperate enough to bring it in. His 2-1 is hit on the ground up the middle right at Hernandez, and can take his time gunning to first for a double play. Kike's been busy.
Sure has. Clayton got away with a hanger. This is the type of slider that was getting hit in his last outing. The first one he threw to Ohtani was outstanding, low and away and perfect. This is the one that's just up there, kind of waist high, and a cement mixer, not breaking at all. Ohtani with a good pass, but Hernandez in the right spot.
So now it's Albert Pujols, and that is his career home run count, sitting one shy of Willie Mays for 5th all time. Perfectly placed with the first one to Pujols. So he's 6th in home runs. He's 4th in RBIs, more than 2,000 in his career. He's 15th all time in hits. Kershaw had him fooled in a curve, and it's 0-2. On an 0-2, Pujols takes in the dirt, ball 1. Albert 40 years old now in his 20th major league season. What an incredible Hall of Fame career for him. 10 times an All-Star, 3 times an MVP. And a 1-2 from Kershaw. A curve is yanked left side, picked up by Turner, and Kershaw, with a nice scoop from Rios there, faces the minimum in the second. To lead off the third, it's time for Jimmy John's Freaky Fresh Take. Barnes has gotten things going. 5 for 9 in the series against San Diego, including his first home run last night.
Dodgers need the catching department to get on a roll. Austin hasn't been deserving hits up until this hot streak. Now he's starting to really hit the ball hard. And Will Smith, before the neck injury, was hitting the ball great, just not getting the results.
First one from Sandoval is a little bit outside ball 1. They're going to lean on Barnes this weekend. Smith not available tonight. And take another look at him tomorrow, reevaluate where he's at, but good chance Barnes gets the first 2. And an opportunity for him to build off of what he did against San Diego. Ahead 2-0. Top of the order, and Mookie Betts coming up after this. Dodgers number 2 in the majors in runs per game, almost 5.5 per game, trailing just Colorado. That's up the middle and through, and Barnes stays hot with a leadoff single here in the third.
When Austin Barnes came up to the big leagues, there were a lot of his teammates down in AAA that said this guy might win a batting title. Of all the guys that have a swing that can put it together, we think Austin's the guy. Well, that scouting report so far has been wrong, but the way he's swinging the bat right now, he looks really, really good, and he looks like he believes in it.
You feel so good for him because you see how much he grinds and how much it eats at him when it's not going well. Finally feeling some success the last few days. Betts comes up for the second time and takes ball 1.
Complete ball players don't want to be known as the guy is only my defense. And Austin's a very proud individual, and he's had the tag of it's just the defense for a long time and hoping the bat would come because there's always been potential. So it has been hard on him to not be hitting at the expectation level for himself.
1-0 to Mookie Betts, very high, ball 2. Barnes' average over the last 4 games has gone from 091 to 250.
Catchers have to separate their offense and their defense, that's for sure, when you're running a pitching staff.
Chop left side. That is kicked by Rendon, and everybody's safe. So the first 2 aboard for the Dodgers here in the third.
There's a couple of balls that should have been turned into outs. Fletcher bobbled a ball that should have turned into a double play. They only recorded one, so he didn't get an error. And now here Rendon, who's usually a very slick fielder.
Angels have not been very good defensively so far. 24th in the majors in defensive efficiency. 2 on, nobody out, and the hitter is Seager. Goes after the first pitch. Chopper to second. Nice pick, La Stella. The out at second, and that is all.
That was a nice play there. Ball was smoked, and La Stella stayed with it and got that last high hop. Almost took his chin off a little bit. Good feed there, but Seager from the left-hand batter's box beats it just by the difference of being left-handed compared to right-handed.
Hey, is it just me, or is it really echoey there?
Maybe, yeah, like on the crack of the bat, you hearing that echo? Yeah.
Crowd noise really low. And it must just be the way that sound bounces through there. Every place they're going to is obviously empty.
Bouncing off the rocks.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is. First and third for Turner, who can't lay off the first one. Nice stop by Stassi. Remember, Anthony Rendon in the preseason said he wasn't a fan of the fake crowd noise. It was like you're looking at pizza and smelling a hamburger. That's the way you put it.
Well put.
Is it?
Yeah.
Looking at a hamburger, looking at a pizza, smelling a hamburger.
It's just, he's trying to say that it just doesn't match up in his brain.
Right, the senses
so
are.
Then he doesn't like it.
Breaking ball puts Turner in an 0-2 hole. I mean, I would crush a hamburger smelling pizza.
Yes, you would.
Yeah, it'd be good. But
maybe you don't like his examples, but I like the way he.
I'm with you. I'm giving him a hard time.
Okay.
Punch right side, base hit, and the Dodgers lead. Justin Turner with an RBI single to score Barnes from third. Seager goes first to third. It's 1-0.
Justin Turner, one of the best 2-strike hitters, never gives in. 2 curveballs put him in a hole, but a fastball that he catches up to. Staying back for the breaking ball, able to hit the fastball to right field. Somebody wasn't a big fan of that pitch.
Different kind of echo that time. So now it's Pollock's turn. Reached on a fielder's choice his first time. Chops this one to Rendon at third. They go to second. One. Late at first, and it's 2-0. Pollock dug deep and getting there got him an RBI.
That's why the runner on third breaks on a ground ball in the infield, first and third, 1 out. If they're going to go for 2, you make them pay by scoring the run. So Seager breaks right away, and Pollock beats it out, shedding those 15 pounds, working out right there with a little speed. Dino Ebel, as soon as Seager got to third, first and third, 1 out, you're going on anything in the infield.
Now a man at first with 2 out, and here's Bellinger, who came up with 2 on and 2 out in the first inning and struck out. Sharply grounded, and Fletcher throws him out to retire the side. But the Dodgers get the game's first 2 runs. 2-0, middle third.
Welcome back, everybody. Dodgers on top early in this one, and this is actually pretty fun when you have an opponent, yet you're working together to benefit the community. They are partnering with the Angels Baseball Foundation to do a joint online auction with game-used jerseys being up for bid on the same site, and they're splitting the proceeds 50-50 to organizations that both of these organizations support. So you can go to MLB.com/Freeway Series auction to bid on these game-used jerseys worn from this series. 50-50 split for the Dodgers Dodgers and the Angels foundations, guys.
All right, Alana, one pitch out. Justin Upton flying to left to open the third. Joe Davis or Hershiser, Alana Rizzo. 2-0 lead for the Dodgers as Kershaw gets Upton and Max Stassi comes up. No, the catching duo for the Angels has been really productive so far between Stassi and Jason Castro. Stassi's 4 home runs, the most of any catcher in the American League. Kershaw delivers 0-1. Curve, bounce to short. There's Seager. And on 3 pitches, 2 out.
The MLB app is the only place to get your baseball action. In-game video highlights, live pitch-by-pitch, breaking news, player updates, stats, leaderboard, wow, standings, and much more. Download the MLB app today, the #1 app for live baseball. You didn't like the wow?
I just know it's not part of the copy, and so the wow was, oh man, wow, this is a hard one to read. Here's Joe Adell.
That was my
Strike one. The top prospect in the Angels system, who just made his debut on August 4th. Top prospect in their system, one of the top prospects in baseball. But off to a tough start. 4 of his first 22 strikeouts in half of those at-bats. So the guy that they feel is the best prospect they've had come up since Mike Trout. Joe is only 21. Kershaw delivers 0-2, and Adell fouls it. We'll do it again. Youngest position player in the majors. Fernando Tatis Jr. was born January 2nd, 1999. Joe Adell was born April 8th, 1999. Kershaw with another 0-2. A curve gets Adell looking. Kershaw's first K on just 7 pitches retires the bottom of the order in order. Lead off this 4th inning for the Dodgers. Another base hit his last time up, and over his last 8 games hitting .375.
Chris has found the feeling right now. You can tell by watching his swing that he uses his hands as a trigger, and they are very comfortable right now.
His on-base percentage for the year now above .400. The only Dodger that can say that. Swings and misses at a first pitch changeup from Sandoval. How cool this have to be for Sandoval facing Kershaw. There's a ground ball left side under Rendon's glove. Fletcher able to pick it up and just get Taylor. But to grow up a Dodger fan, grow up dreaming of being Clayton Kershaw, and then to be head-to-head with him in a starting pitching matchup.
It is. That's going to be a 5 to 6 to 3 as it touched his glove. Yeah, it would be kind of a dream come true, and I'm sure he's a little disappointed that he gave up the 2 runs as he's pitching against his hero.
One away for Kike Hernandez in a 2-0 game in the 4th. First pitch curve for a strike. For Clayton Kershaw, that wow moment came when he faced his childhood hero Andy Pettitte. June 27, 2010, Kershaw's 3rd major league season. He outpitched Pettitte. Bullpen blew it though. 1-1. Kershaw went 7 innings in that game against Pettitte, gave up just 2 runs. Pettitte gave up 5 runs in 5 innings, but then Jonathan Broxton allowed 4 in the 9th. And the Yankees won it in extras. Rendon. Wide throw. Pujols has it. 2 out. Now a word from Jack in the Box.
Try my $5.99 Southwest Cheddar Cheeseburger Combo and make it a double for $1 more. Order now with no contact delivery.
Sandoval looking for his first 1-2-3 inning as Edwin Rios comes up. One of the 3 strikeout victims of Sandoval so far. Sandoval, being a Southern California guy, had actually played at Angel Stadium before. But as a football player, receiver and a punter on a team that won a CIF championship. There's 0-1 to Rios. Other than 2.
Couple of sliders already in this count. That's the same 2 pitches that he got him to swing and miss at the first at bat. Going right back to it.
And got him looking. That's the 4th K for Sandoval. Needs just 8 pitches here in the 4th. Tonight's Pacifico fan of the game is Casey up in Firebaugh, California. Be sure to keep sending us your pictures and video on social media. You've got to be 21 or older to participate. But we enjoy this time of night when we get to bring one of you into the broadcast through our fan of the game. Casey and Dodger fans enjoying a 2-0 lead as Clayton Kershaw stands out there for the 4th. Top of the order for the Angels, David Fletcher taking ball 1. Fletcher got ahead 3-0 to open the game and then grounded out. One ball, 1 strike.
Showed the graphic earlier in the game that how Clayton Kershaw became more of a breaking ball pitcher over the course of his career. Tonight, 8 of the 9 outs are from breaking balls, 5 from sliders and 3 on curveballs.
Curveball there, grounded directly to Kike Hernandez, who has been positioned perfectly. It's been uncanny where he's been set up at on a lot of these ground balls.
Got to be the mustache.
Got to be a gravitational pull of the mustache right into the ball.
4 at 6M. M-3.
And 1 out.
I need a bigger score pad.
Or a smaller pen. Here's La Stella. Also grounded out his first time. La Stella comes into the game top 5 in the league in on base percentage. He takes strike 1. Is that a slider at 84?
Maybe changing speeds on it to kind of back off it a little bit to make sure it breaks.
Because you pointed one out at 90 earlier.
Yeah, and it was something that he was kind of starting to do last year. Especially when he wasn't throwing as many arm side fastballs and you need to change speeds on the slider. Maybe back to that little strategy. That's a nice 6-mile-an-hour difference.
Stella hits one on the ground. Guess who? 2 out.
89-mile-an-hour slider.
5 of the 11 outs in the game, Kike Hernandez has been involved in. 2 up, 2 down in the 4th, and here's Trout, who flied to left his first time. I always savor these matchups. One of the great pitchers of all time against one of the great hitters of all time. One of the great players of all time in Trout. Just celebrated his 29th birthday. Coming off his 3rd MVP. On an 0-1 pitch. Trout swings through it. 0-2. How's that feel?
Feels pretty good when you get it by that guy. That was 92 with great location to the best player in baseball.
Turns and fires. Trout takes it high.
Trout was a little upset in his first at bat. He hit a fly ball to left off the end of the bat. He thought he should have crushed it, but he kind of pulled off it a little bit and just got it off the end of the bat. They retired the same year. 5 years later, they go into Cooperstown together.
On a 2-2, Trout swings and fouls it off. We'll do it again.
For how many years will people be playing video games and picking these guys as their #1 draft? Well, they're going to assemble their teams. I'll take Kershaw. I'll take Trout.
Up the middle for Kike Hernandez. Guns it over there, and Rios digs it out. Clayton Kershaw, 4 innings, only 1 base runner, was a walk back in the second. Sportsnet LA is brought to you by your Southern California Toyota dealer. Get great deals on a bold new Camry at Toyota's We Make It Easy sales event. And by Mercury Insurance. Low rates, big discounts, great insurance. Let's go to Alana.
Guys, Mookie Betts was making such an impact last night on the field. 3 home runs, and now he's obviously making an impact off the field already in the Los Angeles community. Dodgers Foundation is going to join Dodger outfielder Mookie Betts and pull up Neighbor to provide free hand sanitizer, reusable face masks, food, voter registration, and health screenings on Sunday. Now, this is happening in Compton on Sunday from 12 to 3. The location is at the Compton Town Center. And again, all of these different opportunities to get, you know, all of the protection that you need for this whole pandemic. Hand sanitizers, reusable face masks, all these things. And Mookie's so humble when talking about it earlier today about it, but knows that this is home. He said this is home now, and it's time to take care of this community as well.
Helped out during the quarantine back home in Nashville as well. Alana handed out masks and sanitizer while cases were spiking in Tennessee. Much more than just a ball player. Barnes leading off this 5th. 1 ball and 2 strikes. 9-1-2 for the Dodgers, leading 2-0. Austin singled his first time in his 6 of his last 10. Patrick Sandoval home with a 1-2. Barnes shoots it the other way sharply, but right at La Stella for the first out of the 5th. In a 2-0 game, Betts comes up for the 3rd time tonight. It's reached both times. First time on a walk, then on an error. One of those 6 3-home run games in his career was in Anaheim. Right in the middle of him overhauling that swing early on in 2018. Sandoval comes home. Betts hits a bouncing ball over the mound. La Stella again. And boy, the second baseman stealing the show in this game defensively. Quickly 2 up and 2 down.
Your official Dodger merchandise is available for curbside pickup or home delivery. See Instagram at Dodgers Top of the Park for details.
So Mookie had been working with Tim Hires in Boston, former Dodger hitting coach. He'd been working with JD Martinez, and then he goes to Anaheim and gets a little more work in the cage early on in the day, refining that new swing, trying to launch the ball a little bit more, trying to have his swing match the plane of the pitch a little bit better. And he takes it for a test drive and hits 3 home runs and says, hey, come on to something here.
Say so.
Went on to one of the greatest offensive seasons. I mean, last 25 years, Red Sox history. It was remarkable what he did in that MVP campaign. An 0-1 to Corey Seager. 0-2. So just in terms of WAR, it was the 21st best individual season in the history of baseball. It was a 10.9 on the WAR scale. Just to give you some perspective on that, the single best Dodger season ever, Jackie Robinson in 1951 had a 9.7. And Mookie had a 10.9 in 2018. And that is, if you're new to the statistic, a cumulative stat that attempts to capture a player's overall value.
I hope we get to see one of those in Dodger blue.
Double-digit WAR season, MVP.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Am I asking a bad question? And
No.
I won't ask it till next inning.
Seager lifts one. Well, you perfect time.
God.
Perfect chance for you to ask. Broken bat.
What was Cody Bellinger's WAR last year?
Let me find it for you, buddy.
Give it some context. 2 out and 2 strikes. You never ask a question as a broadcaster.
Yeah, but if you keep reading in that handbook, they say when Corey Seager breaks his bat,
when he breaks
away.
his bat, go for it.
Yeah. 9.1.
So Cody, as much as we enjoyed watching him, he was a 9.1 and Mookie was a 10.9. And
Yeah.
Jackie Robinson was a 9.7.
Correct.
Wow. Some special seasons.
Nothing in 2 on Seager, who has a new bat and takes down and away ball 1.
Be fun. I think I need to learn this, and you might know a little bit of it, but it's always fun to know. Okay, I know the difference between a 30 home run hitter and a 35 home run hitter, and I know a difference between a 90 RBI guy and a 100 RBI guy. But how do I know the difference between a 9 WAR and a 10 WAR?
Yeah.
You know.
Seager hits a fly ball to left center field, pretty deep. Trout back onto the warning track, just enough room, and that ends the inning. 1-2-3 go the Dodgers. We'll talk a little more about that when you come back.
On an all-new Backstage Dodgers, take a look back at how Courtney and Justin Turner continue to give back this offseason, providing free meals to families in need, supporting veterans' homelessness, and so much more. Don't miss an all-new episode of Backstage Dodgers tonight after the postgame on Sportsnet LA.
Clayton Kershaw back out there for the 5th inning. Very efficient so far. He's got only 1 K, 1 walk, no hits.
A slider that we were expecting to make some adjustments on has recorded 7 of the 12 outs. And I still think there's a better one in there. He's thrown a couple good ones, and now he's landing it, but I think there's going to be some sharper ones as he gets a little better with it.
Anthony Rendon, the lone base runner against him so far. On a walk his first time, takes ball 1. So Rendon's trend of a low batting average but a very high on base percentage continues. 2nd in the American League in walks this year. Carlos Santana's got something like 25 at this point. It was walk number 18 for Rendon, who's ahead here 2-0. There's a strike, and it's 2-1. Just to get back to your question about WAR context, Fangraphs breaks it down in very simple terms based on the number and what it translates to. That's foul 2-2. So this is Fangraphs' definition of a 0. First of all, 0 is a replacement level player. If you're to call somebody up, a hypothetical replacement would be a 0. 0 to 1 is defined as a scrub.
Okay.
A 1 to 2 WAR player, a role player. Here's a 2-2. A curve is a little bit high and the count goes full. 2 to 3 WAR, solid starter. 3 to 4, good player. 4 to 5, all-star. 5 to 6, superstar. 6+ MVP. And Mookie in 2018 was a 10-9. Curve is turned on and hammered in the air to left, back towards the corner, and gone. As is the no-hitter for Kershaw. A solo shot for Rendon, who has homered in 4 consecutive games now. It's 2-1.
Rendon with home runs in 4 consecutive games. Clayton coming off a game where he gave up 3 home runs, and this a hanging curveball that Rendon does not miss. As soon as it left the bat, you could tell from the sound it was out of here.
So it's 2-1 as Ohtani takes the ball. Angels the most home run reliant team in baseball so far this year, getting about 2/3 of their runs from homers. Grounder right side. Hernandez dives to get it. Off balance throw in time. What a play by Kike Hernandez.
It's exceptional range, unbelievable Gumby-like ability to contort his body and make this throw. Ridiculous from his left knee. Takes the right leg and gets it in the air and gets up on his left knee and uses it like he's got legs underneath him. Look at the velocity on that throw.
Awesome. Gumby Hernandez. Strike one on Pujols.
That a baby.
Yeah.
He says that a lot to his teammates.
Quickly 0-2. Hernandez so busy tonight, but most of the plays have been completely routine, just a result of him being positioned so well. That one far from routine. Kershaw downhill 0-2. Pujols swings and misses at a good slider. 2 gone on Kershaw's second K.
Left fielder number 10, Justin Upton.
Now Justin Upton. Flied out on the first pitch that he saw his first time, and is now one of his last 27. He's lost his spot for the most part with Joe Adell, the rookie, coming up and getting more playing time. Both guys in there tonight, though. That curve is high, and it's 1-1. Last year dealt with injuries for the first time in his major league career. He's in his 12th year now. One ball, 2 strikes. He missed a couple months to start the season with turf toe, and then dealt the whole year with a knee injury. They were hoping that a healthy offseason would lead to a much better start this year, but it's just not been the case for the 32-year-old former first overall pick. On a 1-2. He swings and misses. Strike 3. Back-to-back Ks on sliders for Kershaw. Angels get their first run on their first hit. A Rendon home run, and Hernandez with a smile after a tremendous defensive play. With Rendon's home run, Angels now 35 of them this season, and 11 over the last 4 games. These are the top 2 home run hitting teams in the sport. The Dodgers getting those 6 last night. Rendon with a home run for the 4th consecutive game.
Usually hits come in bunches. For these 2 teams, home runs come in bunches.
Turner up there to lead off the 6th. He takes ball 1 from Sandoval. Justin is 2 for 2. Brought in a run with a base hit his last time. Extended his hitting streak to 9 games tonight. One and 1. This thing is cruising along. Yeah, okay. On the anniversary of a doubleheader. A doubleheader.
I got you.
That took 2 hours and 17 minutes.
What year was that?
1919.
Okay.
A little bit different times. Sandoval pitches. Turner reaches out and just gets a piece of flip it foul. Stays 1-2.
You got to tell us who pitched in a 2 hours 17-minute doubleheader.
Yeah, a couple very efficient guys. Had to be, right?
Yeah.
So is the Robins, as the Dodgers were known then.
Yep.
And the Cubs. Cubs won the first game 2-0 in an hour 10. Dodgers won the second game of the doubleheader 1-0 in an hour 7. Just inside, and it's 2-2. Grover Cleveland Alexander is a Hall of Famer. First guy to popularize the sinker and pitch into contact, and is known as one of the most efficient pitchers ever. Helped him lead the league in innings pitched 7 times. Sandoval deals 2-2. Turner takes it in the dirt, and the count goes full. You know, so the all-time wins list, Cy Young is number 1. Walter Johnson is number 2. Then it's Grover Cleveland Alexander.
Wow.
So he won the first game. Second game, which was won by the Dodgers, Leon Cador. And if you say, I've heard that name for something else, he's the guy that pitched all 26 innings in a game for the Dodgers the next year that ended in a tie because it got dark out.
All of these things that you're mentioning in the last few days. 187 complete games in a row.
Yeah.
2 hour and 17-minute doubleheader.
Hard to even recognize it.
26 innings pitched by one guy in one game.
And actually, the opponent also went the distance in that game. That's spoiled foul by Turner. 8th pitch coming.
That's when men were men.
Yeah, right. We've all gotten so soft. 19-19. Total of 13 strikeouts in those 2 games. 2 teams combined, and 1 walk. Different times.
They did not sell many concessions in that doubleheader.
Right. Turner takes the walk. Impressive trip up there, and he's been on all 3 times tonight. T-Mobile is your ticket to the game with America's largest 5G network. Second walk issued by Sandoval, and up comes A.J. Pollock. Leon Cador retired a few years after that and married Charles Ebbett's daughter. Worked on Wall Street. Eventually moved the family to Idaho and became a copper miner. Dodgers up 2-1. Turner at first with nobody out as Pollock comes up. And Sandoval comes home. It's fouled and strike 1.
As we get enough games under our belt, it's going to be interesting to see in interviews what the players say about no TV down by the bench and in the locker room. As we know with A.J. Pollock, he thinks it might be freeing him up.
He sure has looked free and easy, hadn't he?
Well, the other guy that you would say who studies that kind of stuff the most would be Corey Seager.
100%, yeah.
And look how he's hitting the ball.
Free and easy.
Yeah. So maybe there's going to be some theories change. And these guys become veterans, and when TV maybe gets allowed back in, as it kind of creeps back in, they might be giving advice someday to younger guys like, hey, don't get overly conscious of studying your swing on the tube.
Pollock lifts his ball to center field, playable for Trout. He's got it, 1 away, and we check in with Alana.
Joe, another guy swinging free and easy is Chris Taylor. 1 for 2 tonight. Came into the game batting .288. You were talking about the video and the inability to be able to look at everything mid-game. And he said, you know what? It actually takes me back to Little League, to the minor leagues, all before all of the video was the rage. And he said, you know what? It kind of simplifies the game a little bit. Kind of makes you just enjoy the game, think about the moment, be in the moment a lot more. He goes, you know, we can still look at our swings after the game. We have found ways to be able to do it on a non-community computer, but these guys didn't come up in the video age, and he says it kind of takes you back there, and right now it's working for him.
Strike 1 on Bellinger. That's a great point, Alana, because Taylor is another guy who is really into analyzing his swing on video, every little thing frame by frame, and it's another guy who looks free and easy.
Yeah, you know the guys that arrive early and you see them in the TV room, and you know the guys that stay late after the game and you see them in the video room. They're easy to find.
Nothing in 2 on Bellinger.
I think Cody knows he's really close. The last 2 nights, when it's an out, you still see his posture change a little bit. There's a little bit of sulking because this slump has gone on long enough for last year's MVP. But in the box, some of the foul balls and the hard hit balls, it's starting to change.
0-2. Turns on one, right field and deep. Back towards the corner goes Adele. It is gone. Cody Bellinger with a sigh of relief and a 2-run home run. Good timing, Oral.
Yeah, he's starting to look like somebody I would pitch around. And so I just get old bells going off in my head like he looks like he's on a lot here. I don't care what the scoreboard says. The swing and the posture is starting to look like he gets it, and he does get it right there. 82 mile an hour, probably a curveball at that speed. Sandoval with his back to the home plate, and Cody Bellinger feeling a little bit of relief right there.
First home run since August 3rd for him. 3rd one this season. Big for Bellinger and big for this game. Angels have closed it down to 1. The Dodgers open it back up to 3. And here's Taylor taking ball 1. And he does it lefty on lefty. He was the best left-handed hitter against left-handed pitching in baseball last year.
Well, when he struck out in the first, it was on a hanging slider. And we both looked at it like, oh, that's when he normally crushes.
Now Taylor, high fly ball down the left field line, but foul. Oof, my gosh, that was hit far.
Cody missing the hanging slider in the first. I'm sure he was reviewing that in his head, but he can't do it on TV. No video work, but he made a very nice adjustment. Catch up to that one.
Two and 1. And movement in the bullpen. Two balls, 1 strike on Chris Taylor. Sandoval comes home. Taylor watches a well-placed fastball to even the count 2-2.
That Bellinger home run gives Clayton Kershaw some breathing room. It's been a nice game for him. He was flirting with a special night. And Cody's 3rd home run of the year give him a little bit more room to play with.
Changeup gets Taylor.
And the way the Dodger bullpen has been performing, you give them 2 more runs in a 3-run lead, and that should be pretty good.
20 2/3 consecutive scoreless innings spun by the Dodger pen. 2 out. Here's Hernandez, who has grounded out twice, but he's brought value defensively, as he often does, making both the routine and the remarkable tonight. First pitch change up, 0-1. Short right field for Adele, and that's the inning. But a 2-run home run for Cody Bellinger, his 3rd of the season, and the Dodgers lead this one 4-1 as Clayton Kershaw goes back to work in Game 1 of the Freeway Series. Southwest Cheddar Cheeseburger combo for delivery. Make it a double for $1 more. and by Nissan. Take off in a new Nissan before summer ends. Don't miss the Nissan Bottom Line sales event. Clayton Kershaw is allowed just one hit. Back out there to face Max Stassi. Gets a swing and a miss on a first pitch slider for strike one. Bounce left side. Seager figures Hernandez has had enough of him tonight. Takes that one and gets Stassi for the first out.
Another ground ball from Clayton Kershaw. 10 of the 13 outs on ground balls. And Seager taking one from Kike. He's had 7 ground balls he's been a part of.
Joe Adell. We mentioned Adell's early struggles offensively since getting called up. He also has struggled defensively. Center fielder by trade. Obviously he's blocked there by Mike Trout, so he's playing corner outfield. And he last week had a 4-base error in Texas. He's going back on a ball, hit off his glove and went over the wall. So technically not a home run. Nick Solak, the guy that hit it for the Rangers, is credited with an 0 for 1. Scored on a 4-base error.
Wow.
First time in Major League history. Not that there's been a 4-base error. There have been 15 of those on record, but there's not a single play on record where a 4-base error came when a ball went over the fence. Kershaw pitches 1-2 and gets Adell swinging.
That is the slider that we've seen from Clayton Kershaw over the years. That one starts as a low fastball and then has tremendous bite. Just disappears from the hitters.
That's the 4th for Kershaw. 2 up, 2 down in the 6th. Back to the top, David Fletcher. You may be thinking of the Jose Canseco one where it bounces off his head and goes out. That was ruled just a home run.
And you see the ones that are guys jumping up on the fence and the glove the ball hits the glove and it bends back and it goes over. They don't give guys errors on that.
Because it's more than ordinary effort. So it wouldn't be ruled an error. But Adell's ball, the scorekeeper ruled that it was ordinary effort. Play should have been made. One and 2. Quick word from Morongo.
Morongo, playing it safe. The good times are back.
Only pitch number 70 for Kershaw with 2 gone here in the 6th. Home of the 1-2. Fletcher grounds one to short. Corey Seager's there. Another quick inning for Kershaw. This one just 10 pitches and he leads 4-1 after 6.
Have your face in the stands at Dodger Stadium during the 2020 season. Proceeds benefit the Los Angeles Dodger Foundation with a mission to improve education, healthcare, homelessness, and social justice for all Angelinos. Buy now at Dodgers.com/fan-cutouts.
Patrick Sandoval back out there for the 7th inning with the left-handed batting Edwin Rios coming up, and he's K'd Rios both times. They do have a right-hander in Jacob Barnes ready to go in the bullpen. 80 pitches in here in his 3rd start of the year. He gets strike 1 on Rios. Well, first time the Dodgers have seen Sandoval. What do you think of the 23-year-old from Mission Viejo?
I think he's got some potential. I mean, Clayton Kershaw's his hero, and he definitely has a nice breaking ball. The slider to lefties looks good. I think he can get a little bit more depth on it. He could throw it more to right-handers. One thing I would watch with him is I think he can get farther down the hill and get closer to the hitter and be a little bit more sneaky fast. He's very erect over the mound, and then he just kind of collapses his knee, and I don't think he gains as much ground as he should. going to the hitter and staying closed.
Rios shoots one down the line inside the bag into the corner. Ricochets to Upton. Rios chugging for second. He's got a stand-up leadoff double.
They tried to trick him. They got him out with sliders, and this at bat they said, okay, we'll go away from the slider, maybe he's sitting on it. Let's live with the fastball a little bit more. And Joe Madden says, I've seen enough. Sandoval right here, the fastball, and you could tell Rios is kind of sitting soft, making the adjustment on the fastball there because he's been hurt on the slider, but able to keep that fastball fair and get a double.
And get Sandoval out of the game. 4-1 in the 7th. Baseball on Sportsnet LA is brought to you by AT&T TV. Find the local sports you love on AT&T TV. And by Morongo Casino Resort and Spa. Playing it safe. Good times. There are 3 guys with the last name Barnes in the majors right now, and 2 of them are about to face off. Jacob Barnes on to face Austin Barnes.
2-pitch guy, and he will throw the 3rd pitch every once in a while, but really a fastball, curveball, slider guy. Struggling a little bit right now, but he is a strike thrower.
Barnes has hit it hard twice tonight. Singled his first time, came in to score, and then nice play by LaStella at second. Led to a ground out his second time up. Rios at second after his leadoff double. Dodgers trying to tack on here in the 7th. Strike 1. The other Barnes, Matt Barnes, reliever for the Red Sox. None of them related. Jacob Barnes, 30 years old, comes home, well placed, 0-2. Jacob, a native of St. Petersburg, Florida. Then he went to Dunk City, Florida Gulf Coast. Inside, ball 1. Barnes started his career with the Brewers. Then he spent last season split between Milwaukee and Kansas City. Now in his first year with the Angels.
I said he was a 2-pitch guy and then went to a 3-pitch guy. The reason I said the 2 to 3 is because he really only throws the fastball and the slider. The curveball is like 1% and 2%.
Good job by Barnes to stay alive. You weren't technically wrong.
No, it was I rounded. But to be completely truthful, he does throw a curveball, but rarely. A hitter would eliminate that pitch. He would just tip his hat if all of a sudden the curveball happened to fool him.
And especially with a reliever, gosh, that's once every 5 or 6 outings, that percentage. Fastball, Barnes turns it around, singles into center field. Trout up with it, a little bit of a juggle, but Rios was throwing on the brakes already with nobody out. And they're at the corners. How about Austin Barnes the last few days?
I'm starting to be a believer.
Right fielder, number 50, Banks.
What was interesting about that is he hit the ball right back up the middle, but he got his hands so far inside that it had a tremendous amount of spin headed towards right field. So that's a really sweet swing. RVS has got to be very happy with what Austin Barnes is doing right now.
So they've got him cornered, nobody out, and Barnes to face Betts. Strike 1. Mookie 0 for 2 tonight after walking in the first inning. 12 RBIs in his last 7 games. Opportunity for another or a couple.
Kind of a typical Angel game right now, right? The starters have not been good of late. The offense has been good if they hit a home run, and that's what they get their run.
Yeah.
Defense a little shoddy.
Even Trout's defense has graded out poorly so far this year. You saw him not handle that ball cleanly. Had Rios been going, he would have scored easily. First and third, nobody out. I don't know, 1. Betts takes it very low, ball 1. Two and 1 on Betts. Marcus Lynn Betts, MLB. Rios at third, Barnes at first. A 2-1 pitch after a throw over. Mookie's mom, or I should say Marcus's mom, nicknamed him Mookie for the former NBA point guard Mookie Blaylock. And young Marcus loved it, and so it stuck. Now a 2-1. Chase is here. That is a very rare chase. 2-2.
That is what is known as cheating. He was cheating on a fastball. Got a slider in the dirt, but he was starting early. He's coaching himself up right now. You see how soon the foot gets down, the momentum starts coming towards the pitcher.
There have just been so few of those over the first 20 games. It's jarring to watch it happen.
I think that's the biggest one we've ever seen this year.
First and third, nobody out. A 2-2. Got a fastball and fouled it off. Clayton Kershaw will be back out there for the bottom of the 7th. Dodgers trying to add on to this 4-1 lead for them as they look for their 3rd win in a row and their 8th in 10 road games this season. Another 2-2, just low, ball 3.
First and third, no out, and Mookie up, coming into the heart of the order. Clayton knows that this is not time to rest, so he's standing and just kind of keeping the blood moving around. If all of a sudden there becomes 2 outs or the inning gets continued in 2 outs, that's when he might sit down and actually start to calm down and rest. But right now he wants to stay warm, stay hot, and not stiffen up.
Betts has worked it full. And now take strike 3 on a generous inside corner from John Lipka, the call-up umpire. Rings up Mookie Betts for the first out of the 7th.
Generous corner. The 96 was a strike for a long time, but at the end it's got some tailing action that Mookie says that ball's inside, but he doesn't get the call.
One gone in the 7th, and the hitter is Seager. 0 for 3 tonight.
Pay attention early.
Strike 1. He took it.
And you know what? That's a really good take for a guy who's aggressive, because that's one of the things that Dave Roberts has talked about in the past. It's one thing for him to be aggressive, but be aggressive in the area where you're hot and you want the ball. And he just took a pitcher's pitch there.
Ted Williams' basic philosophy on hitting was waiting until he got a pitch he wanted to hit it. His pitch. And so pitches like that, while they're strikes, he never wanted to swing at those.
The general population and the general population of major league players are just looking for a ball that's going to be a strike. Those guys that can differentiate on a 96, 94 mile an hour fastball between that's one I want to hit and that one's just a strike. It's a different level of vision.
One and two on Seegers. Got runners at first and third. Grounds one to first. Pujols with a sprawling play. They throw to second. One back to first, not in time. And the Dodgers lead 5-1 as Rios comes in to score. A couple times today, guys have legged outfielders' choices to get RBIs. Pollock did it earlier. Seager does it here. They lead at 5-1.
It's a nice play by Albert down there at first base. Just couldn't get enough steam on the throw to second to turn the double play. And again, we see Corey Seager beat it out because he's coming from the left-hand batter's box. That one's very close like the other one, but he's still safe.
They're going to challenge it. So is he?
He's safe. It's not touching leather. We shall see, though. I've only been wrong once
in your life.
Exactly.
Yep.
Maybe this will be the second time.
We were talking Ted Williams and supernatural vision for some major league hitters.
Oh, right.
Ted tried to train himself as a kid, tried to train his eyes. He used to walk down the street and put his hand up to his nose to split his vision and test one eye at a time and try to make sure that each eye was balanced. He is safe, and it stays 5-1. Very quick turnaround on that challenge time. As a kid, thought that he shouldn't watch movies in theaters because of the big screen, and he was worried that it would damage his eyes. So very early on, he obsessive nature over his hitting, and realized how big a component the eyes were in that. It's also one of the reasons he went on to be a successful fighter pilot.
Yeah.
Turner with two out and a man at first.
If you want somebody to hit a moving object, that would be a good fighter pilot.
Yeah, I'd say. Ted served 39 combat missions as a fighter pilot in the Korean War. More action in the Angels bullpen. Dodgers 5, Angels 1. Top of the 7. It's Ryan Buchter. One on one. On his very first mission, his plane got hit by enemy fire and started leaking fuel. Barely made it back to the base. Pulled off a crash landing. And they told him he was lucky the plane didn't explode on his very first mission.
And then he went on 38 more.
Yeah, right. 2-1 on Turner. So as soon as the plane comes to a stop on this crash landing, Ted hurries out of the cockpit, as you would imagine, runs away from the plane. Green staff car pulls up. Colonel gets out. Ted salutes him. The colonel pulls out a pen and a paper and says, "My gosh, Ted Williams, can I get your autograph?"
Oh my goodness.
Sir.
I just had a crash landing and I'm here and you want the first autograph?
Oh my gosh. 3-1.
Wasn't he a great fisherman too? Which
he loved to
that
fish.
Great eyesight, fly fisherman.
Mm-hmm. And whatever he did was obsessive. If he was going to do something, he was going to try to be the very best at it.
Sounds like Mookie Betts.
Mm-hmm. To the hole at short. Fletcher across his body. That is a great play by David Fletcher. And that ends the inning. The Dodgers add one. As we stretch in Anaheim, they have a 5-1 lead for Clayton Kershaw. Well, he came into the night talking about Clayton Kershaw having two very different outings so far this season and trying to pitch a little more like his first outing, and he's been even better tonight with a little bit of help from his defense. Kike Hernandez has been everywhere, but Clayton Kershaw, 4 Ks, 1 walk, and the 1 run on just 1 hit. Home run from Rendon as he delivers strike 1 to Tommy La Stella at just 71 pitches now. I think that's the most impressive thing.
He is always, and I don't mean always in always, but he continually reminds me that after a bad outing, a large percentage of the time he is just excellent the next time.
His 1-1 is high, ball 2. Just so remarkably consistent throughout his career. Highest ERA that Clayton Kershaw has had for a calendar month, as he gets a swing and a miss on a slider since he incorporated that slider, is a 4.22 in May of last year. That's the highest single month. I mean, to not have a single month throughout your entire decade plus in the majors where the ERA is bad, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, because if you have one outing with like a 7 spot in there or something like that, I mean, a bad outing for him is 3 or 4 runs.
You could have several solid outings and then 1 clunker, and it would be higher than 4.22
for sure.
He gets La Stella swinging for the first out of the 7th.
You catch a month where you only get 4, maybe 5 starts.
Center fielder number 27, Mike Trout.
He had back-to-back outings last year, an August 31st and a September 6th start. The first one he went 5 innings, gave up 5. The next one he went 3 innings, gave up 4. But he recovered. He must have. He didn't get over 422. But those are on separate months then, because one was in August and one was in September.
Strike 1 on Trout.
Oh, he's been good at dividing those up.
Going to have one bad one followed by another. Yeah, just kick it to the next month. Quickly 0-2. Trout 0 for 2 tonight. He flied out and he grounded out. Reigning MVP Mike Trout. Ouch.
It wasn't the foot, it was the ankle.
So he's back in there, another 0-2. Kershaw gets him looking. Strikeout number 6 for Clayton Kershaw. Retires Mike Trout, 2 gone in the 7th.
Impressive outing from Clayton when you can set down a 3-time MVP 3 times in a row. All different ways, a fly out, a ground out, and now the looking strikeout.
So now Rendon. Only hit for the Angels tonight, Rendon's homer. Of course, the last time Kershaw saw Rendon, those back-to-back home runs, Game 5 of the division series, Rendon and Soto. It's taken low, and it's 2-0. For Rendon tonight, 4th consecutive game that he's hit one. So he's coming alive the last few days here in his first year in Anaheim. Three balls, no strikes. That's Pedro Baez.
One more out from Clayton, and he'll be the second pitcher for the Dodgers this year to go 7 innings. Ross Stripling is the other.
Walks Rendon. Rendon is the only Angel to reach in this game, and he's reached all 3 times.
Number 17, Shohei Ohtani.
Ohtani comes up, pitch count at 84, with the next pitch will match a season high.
I would say this is probably his last hitter.
Right-handed batting Pujols after Ohtani. Kershaw trying to make it through 7, which he did 11 times last year. First one to Ohtani. Cut on and miss, 94, strike 1. Had a 93.5 earlier that showed up as 94, rounds up. First time since 2017 he's thrown a pitch that hard, and he's done it twice now tonight. There's to Ohtani both times.
It's a good sign for October. If the velo is continually going down, you go, okay, we're going to really maybe have to change our style when we get to October to make some adjustments. But with the velocity going up, to visit the drive line where he really feels like he's in a good position now, and it's proving out to be true. So this is a really good sign that he continues to hold this velocity.
Ohtani tries to lay off, but went around, and it's 1-2.
You can have those days where all of a sudden it just kind of all gets put together and you get some excellent topside velocity, but to maintain it outing after outing after outing, that's when you found something.
Ohtani barely tips it foul and stays alive at 1-2. Shohei is twice grounded to second. Angels just 1 hit tonight. Rendon's home run. Kershaw home with a 1-2 pitch. Quick word from Nissan.
This Dodgers broadcast is brought to you in part by the all-new 2020 Nissan Sentra.
Still a ball and 2 strikes. 26-year-old Shohei Ohtani in his 3rd major league season. He's got Rendon at first with 2 away. Kershaw sets and deals. A curve popped out of his hand, and it's 2-2. So he's exceeded his season high in pitches by quite a bit here, which is just fine for a guy who stayed very ready during the quarantine. Fires a 2-2. Ohtani reaches out, rolls it gently to a charging Hernandez, who throws Ohtani out. Clayton Kershaw, 7 innings tonight, just 1 hit. Top of the 8th, Clayton Kershaw, 7 innings of work, the 1 hit, the Rendon home run. Sure was fun to watch him do his thing tonight, wasn't it?
It sure was, and he continues the hot streak of a lot of Dodger pitchers. Last 29 innings, they've only given up 3 earned runs. That's a .9 ERA. So the offense is coming alive. The pitching is continuing to be consistent, and the Dodgers are starting to win a lot of games in a row.
And likely going to turn it over to the bullpen here, which quietly has kept chugging along as the most consistent strength of this team. 20 2/3 consecutive scoreless innings.
If they turn it over to Pedro Baez, if he's the guy that enters the game, that will be good. He has been very hot, especially with the fastball and the changeup.
Ryan Buckner into the game for the Angels, facing the heart of the Dodger lineup. Here's Pollock. 0 for 3 so far tonight for AJ. Takes inside, ball 1. One 1. Three-game series between these teams. It'll be Walker Buehler for the Dodgers tomorrow against Andrew Heaney, who's another left-hander. So the Dodgers go 13 games in a row facing righties, and then back-to-back lefties to open this series before Dustin May and Julio Teheran finish things up Sunday. Pollock with a bullet to left that'll topspin down base hit. Leadoff man aboard. Up comes Cody Bellinger, who hit a 2-run home run his last time, and here it is on StatCast, powered by Google Cloud.
Last night had 2 balls over 100 miles an hour, almost one at 110. This one, though, had the right trajectory at 99 to get it out of there.
That's the funny thing, right? I mean, we come out of last night talking about how the average still very low and still looking to break through, but he hit it harder last night than he did on the 2-run home run that he'll rightfully get praised for. Carves this one out down the line to left and foul.
Every once in a while, a hitter will make a swing and have no idea where the ball went. Cody pretty observant at the end of that swing to have a late start, but to get going.
Slices a drive to left center field. Trout going back at the wall. It's gone. 2 tonight for Cody Bellinger. And the lead is 7-1. So 2 over the first 20 games of the season. 2 tonight in Anaheim.
It's always great to have a 2-home run night. Coming on the heels of Mookie Betts' 3-home run night. But the fun thing about this one is it's 2 different directions. One on a hanging breaking ball from a lefty, and now one from a fastball away from a lefty. Starting to get locked in.
Good luck to the headline writers tonight. You've got dueling important headlines. Clayton Kershaw 1 hit through 7 innings. Cody Bellinger 2 home runs. Now Taylor wraps one foul. Clayton Kershaw allows himself a smile. You can see it in his eyes even through the mask. 1-1 on Taylor, who's 1 for 3. I don't know about you, but the masks for me are reminding me to smile with my eyes.
Yeah, you have to smile all the way up through your face to let people know how you're feeling.
Strike two. Both home runs against left-handed pitchers for Bellinger. Buckner deals the 1-2 pitch. Taylor fouls it off, and it stays at a ball and 2 strikes. Got him. Rockies, by the way, lost tonight 3-2 in the series opener to the Texas Rangers. Lance Lynn with a complete game for the Rangers. And so the Dodgers, if they can hang on, would move into first place by themselves. Here's Hernandez. See the Rockies for the first time a week from tonight.
Looking forward to that. I know the team is looking forward to it. So just make sure these games against the Angels and against Seattle are not trap games.
Neither team very good so far this year. So when you look at the standings, it could become that. Angels 7-12. Mariners 7-13. So on paper, to stretch, the Dodgers should be able to do really well. Chase from Kike, 1-2. And you get to go see what the Rockies are made of. I don't think many people thought that they would look this good or have a record this good at this point. This year's small samples are the only samples, and they are what they are 20 games through. A 1-2. 2-2.
Their hot start was carried by their pitching staff. They've hit a few bumps in the road now that they've been back to Colorado for a little bit. Some crooked numbers going up on the board there in Coors Field. Dino Ebel coming back home.
Yeah.
He's been a great addition to the Dodger coaching staff.
Podcast guest next week.
That's right. I'm looking forward to that.
Another 2-2. Hernandez takes strike 3. 2 out.
Yeah, we've always enjoyed when Dino will get mic'd up in spring training and we get to talk to him and hear his banter and how he processes being a third base coach, what he's looking at, what are his priorities. Now we're going to have a microphone in front of him for about 20 to 30 minutes talking ball.
Baseball and oatmeal.
Is that the title of the podcast this week?
Here's Rios. Base is empty. 2 gone. Takes inside ball 1.
That's a great tease for people to listen to.
You don't want me to explain that? Just let him tune into the podcast. He eats a lot of oatmeal.
Yeah.
Dino does. Like bowls.
Like, yeah. Before he goes out to run?
I think it's his post run. Yeah. Top of the zone, 1-1 on Rios.
I don't think you could eat a big like salad bowl of oatmeal and then go run as far as he runs.
No, you're right though. It's like a small bucket.
Yeah.
Of oatmeal. Berries, flax seeds.
Mm-hmm. Glad we're not doing like favorite cereals with him.
Well, we did that earlier, and you went with cream of wheat. So
hey, I was born in Buffalo, raised in some cold temperatures in Michigan and New Jersey.
3-1.
I went with a few winter cereals and a few summer cereals. Cream of wheat.
Oatmeal.
Oatmeal, good. Nice and boring and vanilla.
I mean, I love oatmeal just as much as the next guy, but when I'm ranking my cereals, it doesn't belong.
Raisin Bran.
That's fine.
Frosted Flakes.
Life.
I remember Life. I used to like Life.
Then you met me. Here's a fly ball to left. Long run for Upton. He's there. And the inning is over. Cody Bellinger with a 2-home run night. Came into the night with 2 on the season. He went deep in the 6th. He goes deep in the 8th to the opposite field, and they lead it 7-1. Before the Angels hit in the 8th, let's check in with the studio for a preview of Access Sportsnet Dodgers.
All right, thanks, guys. The 2014 NL MVP dominating on the mound, and it's the reigning MVP, Jerry, with 2 bombs.
The kids call him hashtag Cody Love, going deep.
These 2 guys will break it down. We'll see you soon, right after the game.
Well, they turn it over to the bullpen, guys. It'll be Pedro Baez coming on in the pen with 20 2/3 consecutive scoreless innings.
These guys have been so consistent. They all have slightly different stuff. High octane, up to 100 out there. Tremendous movement, some breaking balls that fall off the table. And Pedro Baez features the cambio.
Spanish for the changeup.
Thank you.
Yep.
Always bring my translator with me.
Yeah, I'm here for you. Albert Pujols leads off the inning and takes strike 1. Albert 0 for 2. There's the cambio. It's one of the greatest hitters ever to live. One of the more amazing things is that Albert Pujols was a 13th round draft pick. How in the world did this guy fall to the 13th round? Wasn't that he wasn't producing. Eye-popping numbers every step of the way up through high school and in college. As a high school senior, he had 33 official at-bats, homered in 8 of them. They intentionally walked him the rest of the time. Went to Maple Woods Community College in Kansas City, hit a home run and turned an unassisted triple play in his first game. Goes up the ladder here and fouls it back. It stays at 1-2. In that season in Maple Woods, he hit .461 with 22 home runs and 0 strikeouts. 0.
I'm trying to process it. And scouts don't always go on the ability of the opposing team. They can actually see through that and look at your ability. And you're right. How did he fall to the 13th round?
Tomahawks this one down the line for a base hit. He will hang out with a single. One scout for Tampa Bay was really high on him when nobody else was. And the Devil Rays refused to draft him. Nobody wanted to draft him that high. Well, the scout that was on him quit when they refused to. He felt that strong that Albert Pujols was the guy the Devil Rays should take. And when they didn't, he said, "I'm done. You're making a mistake." And didn't they ever? The Cardinals got him in the 13th round. 13% of 13th rounders make the majors. Pujols did it after 1 minor league year as a 21-year-old. Here's Upton.
That's crazy. He must not have got many looks. There must not have been many scouts at those games. So I always tell parents, you know, to this day, if you're good enough, they will find you. There's nobody who goes undiscovered because the parents are so worried about, you know, where their kid ends up going to school. What team do they play for? Can I get into this travel team? Can I get over here to this league? Should I go to this, you know, camp? It's like they will find you. They still found him, but
sure, yeah,
the 13th round, they expect that fish to still be biting.
Right.
It's like he should have been gone.
Born in the Dominican Republic, started playing baseball there at a very young age with a glove made from a milk carton. They used a lime as the ball. Idolizing his dad, who was a great local fast pitch softball player in the Dominican. So his first jerseys that he had weren't of a big leaguer. They were his dad's softball hand-me-down jerseys that he'd throw on. And the family moved to the United States when he was a teenager, first to New York. But months after arriving, Albert witnessed a shooting at a grocery store nearby. And his family said, "We can't do this. This isn't the life we want for our kids." And they moved to Kansas City. That's in the dirt, and it's 2-2. That's some family there, and that's where they settled. And he stayed there really until he finally got discovered after that year at junior college.
The machine.
Cambio fades in to get him.
It's gone from a pitch that he needs to develop to get better, to get people off his fastball, to an actual weapon that you might get 3 or 4 of those in a row. This one not his best, but it was a ball so long, and then that tailing action back to that upper corner, it fooled him.
So 1-on-1 out, and Max Stassi comes up. A couple ground outs to short for the Angels catcher. Takes fastball inside, 1-0. Slider, 1-1.
We haven't seen a lot of those yet this year. That was a dandy. This slider doesn't break an awful lot. It's almost like a cutter. But you can tell him it's a slider. He doesn't have that psychological barrier. The Caleb Ferguson lingo. Even a little bit of Clayton Kershaw.
For sure.
Do not tell him that his fastball is a cutter.
Or his slider is a cutter.
We're not allowed to say that.
No.
No. We've been sworn to secrecy.
I think it's sworn to our own safety. Austin Barnes has talked about that before. No. You don't. No, it's not a cutter. Nothing is a cutter. It's a fastball and a slider. Doesn't want them to blend together. Runner at first, 1 out. Baez deals 3-1 and gets a swing and a miss, 3-2.
That was the changeup that he really liked. That one was great arm speed, and then the bottom just fell out of it. No fading action at all. Acted like a split finger.
Payoff pitch. Dodgers trying to do something they haven't done in 2 years. That is beat the Angels. Angels won all 4 meetings last year. And franchise record 106 wins, but none of them were against the Angels. That's a changeup for strike 3 and out number 2 in the 8th.
Same type of changeup that he got Upton with. Make it look like a ball, end up a strike. That's when you get hitters looking. Make it look like a strike, end up a ball. That's when you get hitters swinging.
2 gone. Here's Adele. 1-0. I feel like you should walk up to like rolling in the deep.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get the reference, right?
I totally get the reference.
Okay. I'm going to say that's right up your alley.
I know. That's like my 1 in the morning concert.
Yeah. Native of Louisville, Kentucky, Joe Adele. Lays off there, 2-1. Known as a hard worker. I don't think you get to where he is without being a hard worker, but during the 3-month quarantine, people around him said it was a step even above where he's ever worked. Hardest he's ever worked. Shed a few pounds, worked on agility, flexibility. Ahead 3-1.
There was a slider that he was trying to get down, but he hung it up there.
For ball 4, put him at first and second. First time tonight the Angels have had multiple runners on.
Depending on how quick they want to get the bullpen going, there could be a visit from Mark Pryor to get somebody hot.
Very quickly. The visit was to buy a little time for Dylan Floro, who Dave Roberts will call on. At the top of the Angels order coming up, it'll be David Fletcher with 2 on and 2 out.
51. Our daddy, Dylan Floro.
And here he is with 2 on and 2 out in the 8th.
He got to see that video in the last home game here against the Padres when he came in, and I think the score was what, 11-1 or so when he came in, 11-2, and it was fun for him to look up at the scoreboard here at Dodger Stadium and to see his kids.
Here at Dodger Stadium, we're in Anaheim.
I'm still at Dodger Stadium. I don't know where you think you are.
I'm trying to put myself there, Oral.
Okay.
You know, like actors, they take on a role, they speak like that person, that character at all times.
Right, that's you.
Broadcasting Dodger games in Anaheim right now. I'm there.
Good luck with that.
Thanks.
Mr. Floro has a 133 batting average against this year. He's been throwing the ball very well for his wife and kids. What's so funny?
No, it's good. Fletcher 0 for 3 tonight. Maybe his last chance to extend his American League best 12-game hitting streak. Watches a fastball miss inside.
Dodger reliever scoreless streak on the line.
One thing they've done exceptionally well is strand runners. That is shot up the middle under Hernandez's glove. He runs it down, and with Pujols running, no chance he'll score. So the bases are now loaded as that one gets by Kike, who's stopped just about everything tonight prior to that.
If Kike can't catch it, nobody can. This is a bullet up there, and you've got to just hope you get your glove in the vicinity to see if you can get some leather on it. That's what Kike does, gets leather on it, but can't get it to stick in the webbing. Looks like it glances off the fingers. Let's take a look. Yep. Just that little deflection saves the run, but I'm not even sure they would have sent Albert with as hard as that ball was hit and still down by 6.
So now La Stella, who's trying to make things interesting. Tommy La Stella in his first 5 major league seasons hit 10 home runs. Last year in 80 games hit 16. It was an all-star before he broke his leg in a foul ball right around the all-star break and missed pretty much the rest of the year. Bases loaded in the 8th. Floro home with an 0-1. La Stella slashes it foul and it's 0-2.
Working him away. If that's where they think the out is, you might see a setup pitch with a fastball in. Or you might just try and walk him off the plate out there. They went changeup away and then fastball away.
The Trout due next. Big hitter here for Dylan Floro. About as big of a hitter as you're going to find in a 6-run game. 0-2 pitch. La Stella reaches out and flips that into center field for a base hit. Pujols is in to score. Adele is in. It's 7-3. And they're at the corners for Mike Trout.
Well, it was an excellent pitch, and it was an excellent piece of hitting to have enough bat left to give himself a chance. Once the contact comes, the chance starts. And boy, it ended up leaving the bat with some pretty good exit velocity and excellent positioning. Puts a little pressure on the Dodgers now, even with the score a little bit out of whack. The guy coming to the plate can change that in a hurry.
So Fletcher's at third and La Stella's at first for Trout, who is hitless in 3 at-bats against Kershaw. First one from Floro. Inside, ball 1. Second in the league in homers and in slugging. Floro's 1-0 pitch. Ball 2. If Trout were to reach, Rendon would come up representing the tying run. Good pitch, 2-1.
Slider away towards one of Trout's hot zones, but you just can't live where you know you should get him out. You've got to alternate your chances.
Got a fastball by him, 2-2.
That low end area there for Mike Trout. Inside, he hits at a clip at right around 200. When you start to go down the middle or away from him, you're starting to creep into areas of 400 and 500.
2 on, 2 out, a 2-2 that rides inside, and the count goes full. Rendon waiting in a 7-3 game. And while it would have been a really tough play, you know, Hernandez has that weighing on him right now that he couldn't stop the hard hit from Fletcher that would have ended the inning 2 hitters ago. 3-2.
Pitch selection has been strength against weakness. If Mike Trout has a weakness, it's that down and in, especially with a 2-seamer coming from a right-hander. They ventured away from that one time with a slider away, but other than that, they've been pounding him in.
Another payoff pitch. He got away with one over the plate there. In the air to center, Bellinger to end the inning. Angels get a couple, but Floro limits the damage. 7-3 after 8.
Dodgers calendar. This is what's ahead as far as the next 6 games. 2 more against the Angels, and then the Dodgers will face the Mariners for 4 straight. 2 at Dodger Stadium, and then 2 in Seattle for the next series against the American League guys. And then finally, when they get back to Los Angeles, they will face the Rockies beginning on the 21st.
All right, Alana. Kike with a sigh of relief. Play that he expects himself to make, even though it would have been a good play on the hard hit ball from Fletcher that opened the door for a potential crooked number. But they wind up limiting the damage to 2, and it's 7-3 as Noe Ramirez comes in.
4th campaign with the Angels, made the opening day roster, coming off one of his best years last year with an ERA under 4.
He's out of Alhambra. Went to Cal State Fullerton. Red Sox drafted him initially. Facing Austin Barnes, who's had another good night. Strike 1. Well, since the Dodgers fell into a 2-0 hole in the first inning last night, they're outscoring their opponent 18-3. Growing an already large gap when it comes to run differential in baseball. Dodgers by far #1. Of course, the record is all that matters, but a lot of times you look at run differential to see is there some good luck going on, is there some bad luck, some good sequencing as far as when you're scoring your runs, and sometimes can lead you to believe that it's going to even out one way or another. Right now a good record in the Dodgers case, but the run differential says that it should be even better and that they're a better team than their record indicates.
It's starting to feel like we're in the season. It's not the beginning. We're not halfway. And all of this is sped up because of the schedule, and we're only playing for about 2 months, but it starting to feel like there's a flow.
Good pitch there to get Barnes for the first out of the night. After tonight, 21 games will be done in a 60-game season.
9 games away from the midway point.
Jeez.
That's what I mean. We got to be in a flow by now, right? When you're 9 games away, and 7 days from now or 6 days from now, we see the Rockies for the first time. So at the end of the Rocky series, we'll be at the midway point.
Yep. And soon after that, it'll be September.
The leaves will start falling.
Will they, though? I wouldn't be surprised if they chose not to this year. That ball is hit well to right, but Adele is there to catch it. And Betts is out number 2. Time, our sense of time, all thrown off. Seager with the bases empty and 2 gone. Talked about this a little bit around opening day, but I think not having baseball for much of this year shows us how much we rely on it kind of for our internal calendar, right, to help pass the time and mark off the different dates along the calendar. Without that there, it's like, what day is this? What month is this? Seager hits it on the ground to Ramirez, who works a 1-2-3 ninth. The Dodgers 7, the Angels 3, and it looks like Blake Trinan coming on, looking for the final 3 outs. It's 7-3 as this game goes to the bottom of the 9th. On a night where Cody Bellinger had homered twice, Clayton Kershaw gave up just 1 hit over 7 innings. Blake Trinan tries to put a bow on it.
Excellent movement. The 2-seamer is ridiculous. The breaking ball's getting there, and every outing he seems to throw more and more strikes and get ahead of hitters. And with his stuff, and if he's ahead, watch out, league.
It's like every guy that comes in, they put up the same graphic that has a 0.00 ERA. It's unbelievable. Good this bullpen has been over the first few weeks of this season. Trinan will have a good test here. Anthony Rendon leads off the inning. Reached all 3 times against Kershaw with a home run and 2 walks, and takes strike 1 at 97. Blake has pitched in this ballpark a bunch, having been an Oakland A, playing in the American League West. And 0-1 to Rendon. Swing and a miss at sinking 97. 0-2. 6:40 tomorrow and 1:10 on Sunday. Buehler and Heaney, and then May and Tehran.
May Day on Sunday.
Oh, baby. Dave Roberts said today he does feel like Dustin May is locked into the rotation at this point. Needed Clayton Kershaw's opening day injury, weightlifting injury a couple days before opening day, to open the door for him to even start the season on the team. Rendon reaches out, digs it into left. There's Pollock for the first out of the ninth. So May in there to stay. You've got Alex Wood, who's rehabbing, trying to come back from his injury. Tony Gonsolin sitting there next to May is certainly part of the conversation now. And the other wrinkle to it is that they're in this long stretch without an off day. So they need everybody they can get, but there'll be some off days coming where they can be a little more choosy on who's in that rotation, who maybe goes to the bullpen, and who might have to go to the alternate site. One away for Ohtani. Here comes Trinan. Snaps it off inside corner, strike one.
All of those guys would be pitching on 90% of the Major League Baseball clubs in the rotation. They would all be in there. The Gonsolins, the Mays, the Striplings, Alex Wood when healthy, of course.
Ohtani to left. That's a base hit. He's on his way to second with a one-out double.
When you're on a staff that's so deep, and some of these young guys that have outstanding stuff that probably should be pitching in the big leagues and starting in a normal regular rotation spot, a lot of times you got to earn your stripes, and management will go a little bit more with track record. But if you, as you're earning your stripes, you start to impress at a level where it's like, this is not the fifth starter anymore. This is a guy that should be maybe mid-rotation or has some top-end potential. That's all of a sudden when you start getting the ball and you're part of the rotation.
Pujols comes up 1 for 3. Singleton scored last inning. Think about that trade with the Angels that fell through. They had Jock Peterson and Ross Stripling going to Anaheim. How much would they love to have Ross Stripling right now in the rotation? And they're going to be looking at a rotation like the Dodgers and many teams across baseball are looking at it and probably rolling their eyes like, really? Can you share? Like, you need all those guys?
Yeah, you're right. I mean, Mitchell White, Dennis Santana, Tony Gonsolin, Ross Stripling, they'd probably all be pushing some of the Angels starters out of the rotation.
I mean, look at the Red Sox, who won a world championship 2 years ago. They at this point have Nate Eovaldi and Martin Perez, and then nobody else. They got 2 starters and 3 bullpen games each time through the rotation right now. That's the Red Sox. Chop to third. It's Turner. Looking Ohtani back to the bag. 2 gone. Brian Goodwin will pinch hit here for Justin Upton. The Angels down to their last out in a 7-3 game in the ninth. Dodgers an out away from going to 8-2 on the road this year. Home field advantage statistically in baseball is never that great an advantage. About 53% the home team wins, but teams are feeling like it's almost nothing in 2020 with nobody in the stands.
And I think you're right. especially when the studies have been done that the emotions of an umpire might be that edge, that little extra 3% of those borderline calls, borderline pitches really now, because everything on the bases is getting reviewed, so you can't have an emotional response there anymore. It's really the ball strike call. So you're just talking about minutia, and then you talk about the pressure of what 50,000 fans can do, and I would say, yeah, with no fans in the stands, the home field advantage is about nil.
2-0 on Goodwin. That's especially significant for the teams that draw as well as the Dodgers do, having led attendance year after year. Strike one.
Dodger Stadium has gotten a better reputation as far as a hard place to play. And I didn't realize it because it was always nice to come home and to pitch here, but never really listened or watched or heard a lot of quotes about how hard it was to play at Dodger Stadium with a visiting team.
Goodwin lines the ball to right center field. That's a pinch hit, extra base hit that will score Ohtani. Goodwin with an RBI double, and it's 7-4, and the Angels are one base runner away from getting the tying run back up there.
It's a nice piece of hitting. This ball is sinking and down near the middle of the plate, but with the lead that you have, you're trying to challenge hitters, you're trying to throw strikes, and so strength against strength right there turns into a double.
It's going to do it for Trinan. Here comes Dave Roberts. That's Jason Castro, who it appears will pinch hit for Max Stassi and Kenley Jansen in a game the Dodgers once led 7-1. Has to go to work with 2 gone in the 9th.
Let that papa do 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 do.
Kieran and Caden watching Dad try to get the last out. Come on home.
Look like they were working on their cutters.
Yeah. Well, Jansen, who has 4 saves in as many opportunities this year. This is not a save situation. Or actually is. Tying run in the on deck circle, beg your pardon there. So looking for his 5th.
Well, we saw him come into bases loaded, no out, and 16 pitches later he was out of the jam. So this is a little less stressful, but it is a save situation. The bases loaded, no out situation was not.
Castro pinch hitting. Strike one. Castro part of the catcher's combo for the Angels. It's been really good. Stassi and him. If he can reach, they'd get the tying run to the plate. 7-4, 9th inning. Barnes wants it up. Here it is. He put it there and got strike 2. Jansen's 0-2.
Throughout his career, we've seen Kenley as high as 96 miles an hour with that cut fastball. And now that he's throwing sometimes 89, sometimes 91, sometimes 93, it really shows you that late movement is the key. When he gets the characteristics correct.
Was time called when Goodwin took 3rd?
Well, he had a foul ball and the ball it wasn't put back in play. Kenley would rather have him on 3rd anyway. Right. He doesn't want to worry about people stealing his signs. Kenley's not even on the rubber yet. Now he's about to get ready.
Now he's over there for real. 0-2. 93.
Whatever you can do to make that ball move in the last 10 feet or so. That's what the human eye and the excellent vision of Major League Baseball players cannot pick up.
7-4, ninth inning. Another 0-2 from Kenley Jansen to Jason Castro. Ball one.
One more pitch to try and strike him out. Then you stay away from the 3-2 count and bring in the tying run to the plate. You've got to attack. But he can go for the edges right here.
Jansen home with a 1-2. He struck him out looking to finish the game. And the Dodgers take the series opener from the Angels, their third in a row. They're alone in first in the National League West.
Some smiles that we've been waiting to see. Cody Bellinger's smile, Clayton Kershaw's smile. Those are two fun things to see. And those guys, as faces of the organization, they get hot with the rest of the club. This could get really routine.
Kershaw 7 innings tonight, just the 1 run on 1 hit. Rendon's homer. Bellinger came into the game with 2 home runs over the first 20 games this year. He hit 2 tonight. They do something they didn't do all of last year. That is take a game from the Angels. They take the opener 7-4. 2 more games in the series coming up. Burrow, Hershiser, Alana Rizzo, and the rest of our crew. Joe Davis saying so long, and we'll talk to you tomorrow night.